TGIF Warriors. Hi, Mike. RC, Bran, AJ, Ingmar, how are you? Brian's here. James, how are you? Richard, yeah. K-Man and Blake. All right. Let's wrap up the week. Everyone doing okay? So I'm going to start off with Ryan. And why don't we go here? Why don't we start with Euro? So Euro has kind of held up the best since this low that we had around the 13th, Ryan. 102.50 looks important. It held it twice. What are you thinking here? TGIF, buddy.
And good morning to you, and happy Friday. And the sooner the weekend, the better, mate.
Yeah.
A lot of these pairs all showing the same patterns. We've had the low, we've had a bounce. The bounce has stalled, and now we're messing around in the middle. There's lots of these little levels. 102.50, 40 was a bit of a level, a bit of a step point up from that prior low as well. So for the short term, it's important. For the longer term, it's not much at all. I've had a little zone 50, 70-ish that we keep holding. So it's giving it something to build on. Whether it can build on it is another question.
Okay. So, it's Friday, right? So, I mean, we look at the week. And for the week, although, the dollar came off, we don't have a 2-week reversal in the dollar. We do in the yen. To me, that was the feature, was how much weaker U.S. dollar yen was compared to the dollar.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the feature? And biggest mover anyway, 350 pips. The difference in the week, it shows up on the weekly pretty clear, so our community could, understand that the weak sister, which is the one you really want to short, look at that candle, and then you look at the dollar candle. It's a reversal week, but it could have been more. And what bothered me,
you've got to look at the yield candle as well. If you're looking at those three, dollar, yen.
that is okay. Yeah, that's a great point. Outside week down. Yeah, so that lines up with the yen. So, do you think this is a major high that we put in up here in the yen? It's still, got a little bit above 78.6 of this break. That perhaps we could get something like this from here, and then you'd have to say you have to be long bonds, and TLT's having it's up.
Any other time you could make the suggestion that it's going to be a major top, but Tuesday or end of close of business Monday, we could be anywhere. If you're taking dollar yen just from the Bank of Japan perspective, it's looking like they're going to hike next week.
What day is it, Ryan?
29th. It's on Friday, I think.
29. No. 24th.
24th is it? Yeah.
So it's a week 24th. From today.
Yeah. They're the first. I think they're the first major bank to report after Trump. So, even if they do hike, it's likely to be a slow hike. They're not going to hike 50 and say they're going to do another 50 next month. So, how much room is there for the yen to strengthen on the back of that? And as I say, Trump could send this to 130, or he could send it to 170. You just don't know right now.
Okay. So again, like Blake mentioned, he's not trading dollar pairs into this event, and because you just don't know. He said it's bigger than any central bank meeting. This could be secular kind of stuff happening. So I wanted to also ask. I think that like Canada didn't have a good week like the dollar. I still think, I've been talking about it all week. The fly in the ointment for the top in the dollar is this, because we're going to take out these stops before we get any kind of high. And then I talked about this yesterday. the NOK. The NOK looks like it could do it for the third drive to complete this pattern. So those are the flies, and cable looks worse than euro. Look at this RSI reading; it was under 20 at the low. You don't get bottoms off of that.
Yeah.
And then the euro. That's one reason why I think we could have another surge in the dollar. Is this RSI reading wasn't so great either, 21. But now if we get a new low, if we take out 250 and go to 150, you'll have non-confirmations happening. So doesn't mean I'm not holding some longs, but I'm also mentally preparing myself for this. You could get out of the way under here, but I'm a buyer down here should it happen. So I'm already prepping myself mentally that it's possible. And what am I going to do if that happens? So that's what you have to do, guys. Look at both sides of the market. I could just look at the bull case and say, oh, we held, should be long. If you're long, you just trail your stop. But I have to look at the bear case, which actually is, an ending diagonal, I think Greg
You've got
would
to be
call it.
objective, haven't you? You've got to be objective when you're trading.
Yeah.
I did exactly the same on the flow show today because I've been short Aussie Kiwi for a while and it's looking like it's going to break up. And you've got to recognise what the charts are telling you, even if you don't want that to happen, because it goes against your position. And you make that case very, very
So
clear, Dale.
yeah, you can't fall in love with your narrative that you stay stubborn when there's something else happening. The trading is always reassessing.
Yeah.
Okay, based upon the price information you get. So, but there have been times in my career I've been so attached to my narrative that I fought it and lost a lot of money doing it. So, sometimes that's how you learn not to be attached to your narrative. And, that's why one of my favorite maxims is from W.D. Gann. You have to learn how to change your mind. You have to, that's why I say keep an open mind. You'll keep your account open. I'm speaking from experience. Okay. So I've been through it. And
I've learned that lesson twice this week, Dale. You'll know
yeah,
two big data points we've had. I wanted to short dollar rallies,
yeah,
and I've ended up buying the dips because I didn't think the market was right about the data, and I've lost both times.
yeah. So, that's it. But you had your risk managed right away. So you
Oh yeah,
can't get, yeah. So if you put in stops, you can't get attached to your narrative. If
yeah,
you're not putting stops in, you can rationalize your position. And you don't want to rationalize your position. You want the reasons why you're in to be intact. And it's not, well, I'll watch it for a while. It's not a good trading contingency. I've
yeah.
heard that in my head. Well, I'll just watch it for a while.
Don't work.
What you need
Doesn't
to
work.
watch is your wallet when you say things like that,
Yeah.
not the instrument.
Amen.
Okay, so going into this huge historic event on Monday with it being a holiday here, FX will still be trading. Um, just stocks, right? And the bond market will be closed.
Both.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll gauge things by what happens overseas and overseas stock markets and what the currencies will tell us. You know, should be a good trading day.
Should be
Uh,
carnage.
huh? You
It
know,
should be carnage if the
Jan
fate of America is going to reside in other countries' markets.
Yeah. Well, yesterday there was a replacement on I think it's a Senate Intelligence Committee from one guy who was a firm supporter of Ukraine to another guy who isn't. So, I mean, we're already getting signals um, about, it was probably a bad day for Zelensky when he heard about that. So, uh, a lot of things are going to change. So, what change will there be? Even though there's been a war there, it's been kind of a status quo just both meat grinder, tragic meat grinder, but it's been consistently that way. So there's going to be a change there. We're already, have some kind of peace deal that probably won't work for in the Middle East. There may be retribution uh, with Iran for all of this. There's a lot of things that it's almost mind-boggling. So trade your charts. It might be a good time to short. Usually you say, increase your time frames. It might be a good time to, if you normally trade off a daily, to go to a 4 hour. If you normally trade a 4 hour, maybe go to two, so that you could find situations to manage risk better. Just a thought. What do you think about that, K-Man? Shortening up TFs for your work in the markets because of maybe we're going to have larger.
Yeah.
We're hoping average ATRs for markets.
Good morning, Dale.
Good morning, buddy.
Yeah, the average trading ranges, I think we can throw them in the bin for a few days.
Yeah.
We have to be prepared for everything. And one of the things that, in my opinion at least, is very highly likely in the first days is freshly painted saloon doors. And we could have like a 1 or 2% move one way and then completely reversed a couple of hours later.
Yeah.
When he signs another order or tweets something out on his or puts something on his Truth channel. It could be anything, really. So we have to be prepared for anything. But um, to come back if you look at different currencies, I think yen will still. It is possible that the yen strengthened a bit more, and on the tip of my toes. I mean, the dollar is one thing, but yen, again, on the crosses is doing pretty okay right now because um, Japan should not be a country which gets heavily tariffed. Well, it should not. We never know what Trump is going to do, but it should not, because Japan, being an ally, being the biggest investor in the US, having companies there producing locally as well. So, if there's one currency that could do well, is still the yen, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But again, on the tip of my toes, my positions will be light, very light, if I do anything, because I'm going to follow it from a distance. But yeah, it's the main thing is, yeah, account preservation, but at the same time, if you want to have positions, keep them small enough so your stop doesn't have to be just around the
Yeah.
corner. I mean, 15, 20
Great
points.
advice.
You will get
Let your trades breathe.
Yeah, because you will get stopped. I mean, this is something which is a fact for next week. If you put your stops to close, there's 99.9% you will get stopped. It's not something where you just put a chip on the zero and then see where the wheel ends. But no, I think we need to really think about how we go into the markets next week.
Okay, I just wanted to touch on silver because I still think we're going to 27.
Big
And
mover, big
yeah,
mover.
this is to me, this is the impulsive move. This is a corrective move. You could call it, if I went to a larger time frame, might look like a flag.
Mm.
But if we had something like this from here, this was what, 32, about a little over $3, $3.50. So from here would take you to 27.50. Take
Yeah,
out this double bottom.
Again, there, Dale, I think it all depends how Trump goes against China, Russia, and maybe even Europe also. You are watching the gold silver ratio. I think next week that's going to be a mover, and a big mover.
Yeah, it's going to new highs, and I think we're
I
going up to
mean,
new highs.
if he slaps on hefty tariffs, this thing is going to shoot. to rocket. But on the other hand, if he's very soft on tariffs to start with, and he gives the people time, I think your gold silver ratio will end probably the week lower. So
Yeah.
because of the difference between gold being a hedge versus risk and silver being an industrial metal, so this cross is going to be on the move next week. That's my opinion.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've targets as high as 95, so that's a big move. That's
Mm,
another 6 handles. But I do think we're going to take out this high and get some type of 3 up here. But
mm,
yeah, it's that doesn't speak highly of silver going over nine, making new
yeah.
highs on the gold silver ratio.
Uh,
So
uh,
I think it's gonna be a great buy at 27.
mm,
Anyway, so what's happening in the gold silver ratio. Um, if we are going to make new highs, it usually they're pretty tightly correlated. Um, so we'll see if the dollar. I keep getting tweets from people because they know I'm bearish a dollar. What if it goes to 120? What if it goes to 120? I've already told them a million times. Then I'll be wrong. I mean, I'm going to be
mm,
wrong. I'm going to be wrong over the 78.6 at 111.18. But if I get that break in euro, I'm going to try it. I maybe the market celebrates this inauguration and whatever he has on the table. Uh, Maybe it's a celebration of the dollar and anything U.S. I think that's how the markets may respond. It's good news to a lot of it's good news for a lot of people, and his policies, deregulation. Um, I heard his Secretary of Treasury said if the tax cuts go away, and part of it was helping people with healthcare supplements. Like a guy made 60 grand, it was going to mean another 7,000 a year in insurance premiums for his family. Um, that was going to, if you make 60, that's a big chunk. He thinks that if they sunset and they go away, he actually used the word economic catastrophe. Just if people don't have the float they have from current tax policy. So anyway, it's going to be fun to trade. You don't have to make your week today on a Friday. Just this is a very important weekend to do all your technical work and have all your levels together so that you're not impulsively trading next week. Um, do your homework, and your best work is done on the kitchen table when the markets are closed and you don't have distractions besides the NFL playoffs. So uh, that would
Dale,
be
that's
my
only
best.
me and you watching, buddy. Only me and you.
No,
That's
we
it.
have a few people in there. So, Blake, why don't you take it away? I thought yesterday was a negative day in Nasdaq. It failed from the 50% level, but looks like we're going to go for that again.
You
You have a
know,
view on risk? It's probably
yeah,
going to
well,
new highs.
first of all, today's options expiration day. So,
Okay.
maybe that would explain why, the S&P's back at trendline resistance. I thought it was a pretty big failure yesterday in the S&P, and here we are, once
Yeah.
again testing that resistance. I'm not super excited about what I'm seeing here. If you think about it, like, why are stocks higher right now? I mean, because stocks are going to go higher Tuesday if Trump's tariffs are just not as sweeping. That's what I would think, is they're not as
Okay.
sweeping as the market's expecting. We're gonna have stocks rally, and you're gonna see the dollar really sell off. You know, the
Yeah.
the 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 flip side is, he can come out like a bull in a china shop, and his executive orders that get out. And it's funny, as I interviewed Mark Chandler earlier this week on Monday, or was it Monday or Tuesday? I forget, whatever day. Everybody now is saying there's going to be over 100 executive orders
Yeah.
that are going to be executed. You're hearing that over the last 24 hours now. And Mark told me that, earlier this week. The fact of the matter is, that's what the market's expecting. There's going to be a crap ton of orders. It's probably going to be on tariffs is going to be part of it, immigration, fentanyl, China, you name it. There's going to be all of these, sweeping orders, and there's going to be a lot of volatility. And, that's probably going to hit us, I would assume, Monday, at the end of the day, and futures are going to open because, the bond market, as you pointed out, bond market, stock market's closed. FX market's going to respond whenever that news comes out. And we need to be prepared. I mean, I know a lot of you, I would guess probably 30 to 50% of the people that are listening in right now are Europeans. I would say that that's probably a based on our analysis of our client base, that's probably about right. You guys are going to have to stay up late Monday, and you're going to have to prepare for it. I mean, because even if like the executive orders are triggered, like literally after he's inaugurated, like, headlines start hitting the tape, the market's going to be moving for the next several hours. So you guys are going to have to prepare for a long night. And then how about if it happens maybe a couple hours after the Trump administration gets into the White House? I don't know. I don't have the answers, but I would say we all have to be on guard, like really on guard, going into Monday, Tuesday. It's going to be a long night for a lot of people, probably myself included. So
you think this is a legit breakout in Bitcoin?
Well, why wouldn't you own crypto right now,
Right.
knowing what's coming? I mean,
That's what I mean,
and just take a look at what's happening with XRP. This has been a big one. Litecoin's been another one. Nick from Trading Analytics, he's been long Litecoin all week, and that thing has just taken off like a bat out of hell. I mean, Ethereum's sucks. I don't know. I can't explain, and I know some of you crypto people could probably explain why Ethereum is really underperforming, but it looks like crap. But yeah, I mean, here's Bitcoin, challenging resistance. I mean, again, I wouldn't stand in the way right now. I'm only looking for a severe breakdown, below 90,000. We get that, and then I'm going to be a little bit more excited. They tried it. Yeah, it gave us a false breakdown, but I ain't trading it. Why trade it right now?
I'm hearing 116 for a potential target for 5.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I guess, I mean, that I think there's it's
fib or some type of extension is there. Something.
Yeah, you could probably do the 361% extensions that we hit that. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Have fun. Have fun trying to figure that out. I'm too busy with currencies right now because and one of the things that I told the chat room this morning, I kind of laid out my master plan. I am going to, on the week ahead video, which I'll be filming here in a couple hours. On the week ahead video, I'm going to talk in a little bit broader brushstrokes, just regarding the dollar, because the dollar index is obviously going to be the linchpin. And I think that, the old saying, Dale, that you say here all the time, if you get the dollar right, you probably get the market right. I think that's going to be pretty key. And so I'm going to be, obviously, the community. If you're in the Forex Analytix chat room, which, by the way, here's the chat room, and and I was talking through some of my specifics. I'm not gonna pause it on those comments, because I want to reserve that for inside of our community. And because we like to talk in, like, why am I focused on, or why is Ryan focused on, the Canadian, and why is he focused on, the sterling versus the euro? We'll talk in those more specifics inside the Forex Analytics community. But like I said, on the week ahead video, I'll be talking more in broad brushstrokes regarding the dollar, because the dollar, I mean, this is channel resistance or channel support. And, could we have another fourth drive higher? Yeah, quite possibly. And we completed an ABCD move, equal leg move. Yes, that completed. Could we get more? Sure, why not? I mean, it depends on what kind of tariffs we get. Trying to stand in front of the dollar right now doesn't make sense to me. I have my ideas on what I think is going to happen, which I will express, overall on the week ahead video. But that doesn't make what I think is going to happen right. It's just how I'm planning on attacking this market just in general. And like I said, I'm gonna talk in very broad brushstrokes just in the dollar index. Those people in Forex Analytics community know what specific currencies I'm going to be targeting because of central bank activity and whatnot. And I think that's how Ryan came in and myself, we're going to be approaching this just in general. But one of a couple other things that we should be talking about real quick this morning, the BOJ, and here's the article right here. I think K-Man, you might have posted this in the newsroom. Is that
Yeah.
You did? Okay. So I mean, look, we're pretty much locked and loaded now. The market is now expecting the BOJ to do something. What are they going to do next week? I mean, they are, as Ryan pointed out on the Flow Show, they're the first central bank to meet after the orange tsunami, as you like to call it. So what's the BOJ going to do here, and is it going to make much of a difference?
Well, it's somewhere still depends on what Trump is going to announce. But as I said, like most and me included, think that he's going to be relatively light against Japan being such an ally. So then they can raise. But are they going to raise by 15 BPs, 25 BPs? That is still open.
Yeah.
Most of the people think it's 25, but that is what has been starting to be priced into the JGB market as well. So if it's anything less than 25, could have a bit of a negative impact on the yen. But I think until then, if we are right that they may hike and that Trump is going to be soft against Japan, it could be that the yen is one of those who is going to keep its bullish bias right now.
Yeah, that's the point I think that we've talked about the last couple of days that really needs to be understood by everybody that's listening into this show. And by the way, I think we have a little bit of minor data coming out here in a second. I need to go back and take a look.
Starts and permits.
Oh, okay. Just some little bit of housing data. I doubt it's going to be a market mover, but we'll look at it here in a second. The thing about the BOJ is, and Japan, just in general, they are considered a very close ally. Oh God, who was the prime minister when Trump's first?
Abe?
No, I don't. Was it Abe? Did he?
Yeah.
Was it Abe?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
he
okay.
Good friends with him.
Abenomics started in 2012.
Yeah, so I guess it was. Yeah, it was
Took
before.
him for a round of golf, I think, pretty early in his.
Yeah, absolutely.
In his thing.
And he gave him like a like a sword, and I mean they're
they were friends.
Trump views Japan as a pretty close ally at this point. So they may be insulated a lot from tariffs, and then the BOJ may take notice because they're like, okay, where the rest of the world's really going to be, could potentially suffer. We're gonna feel some inflationary pressures. They're already preparing for it. You see all these companies that are talking about how that's going to be their biggest expense of 2025 is raising pay. And so the bottom line is, the BOJ may have to act, and the dollar yen may be one of the more responsive currencies, or the yen may be more responsive to central bank, hikes than other.
Sell the rumor, buy the fact.
Well, I don't know, and that's the thing about the dollar yen. I think technically it's done exactly what it needs to do up until now. I mean, we hit the 127% extension of this move. We rallied back to 156 and failed, and now we're rallying back to 156 and failing again. Now technicals kind of go out the door as of Monday. You can look at all the charts you want, but
that was
chances
a big
of those
trade
levels
this week. Big trade.
What's
this
that?
week. It was the biggest trade this week. in the currency
Of the yen,
complex.
yeah, and you know, and
That was it.
I've scalped around the yen a little bit this week. It's been, you know, it's been easier to trade, I think, than other things. Oh, here we go. There's your building permits. They just came out. Housing starts a little bit better than expected. And
A
you
lot
know
better.
that.
A
What's
lot better
that?
on starts. A lot better on starts than expected.
Yeah, and you know, it's like anything. I'll you know, I'll just say this just because, you know, my wife does. She has a gifting company. Has had it for like 10 years. She does like corporate gifts and, you know, locally sourced goods and all that other crap. She's got like her orders that came in after the election. You know, I mean, business has been good because people, you know, the Trump trade has reverberated through a lot of industries. You know, you talk about housing. One of my buddies is a very big, you know, commercial real estate guy, and he's like, his listings have just gone, and views and sales have gone through the roof over the last 2 months. And, you know, I mean, it's the Trump bump. It goes across the board. We saw it in NFP this week. You know, now, will the Trump bump be faded, you know, through the U.S. economy? We'll see. But as of right now, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. As of right now, you know, that's what we're seeing. It's not going to have much effect on the dollar, I don't think, today.
I think I was talking to Jim. He's going to have a hard time bringing down inflation, especially food prices. You have the grains bottoming. You know, most commodity markets are in bull markets. I don't know how you bring down food prices with that going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about you
Gonna
guys.
have
I
a hard
bought
time.
eggs in just in the last month
Yeah,
have gone up
eight,
60%,
yeah,
60% that I've seen
yeah.
in price. You know, and I know dairy has done the same thing, and you know, it's you know, kind of wild. I don't see that, you know, abating at all. But anyway,
Well, he
um,
promised.
what's that?
He promised to bring down
Yeah,
food
well,
prices.
it's yeah, well, you know, I think he promises a lot of things, Dale, and people believe it.
That's
And
my point.
yeah, the point is people believe it, and you know,
Yeah,
if it doesn't materialize, we're gonna have another thing coming. And that's why I'm very, very much in the camp that, you know, what we're seeing in equities is probably going to be, you know, the high point here within the next, you know, month or two, and probably the highs for quite some time. So I think we're
Mel.
going to be in a range bound environment for equities for a long, 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 long time. Yeah, you know, range to down would be
If we
my
break
best.
out here, could we go to 6,400?
I think we go to like 6,200,
Okay.
6,300.
All
You
right.
know, I
Yeah.
mean, that'd be channel resistance up here. Why
Yeah.
not? You
Yeah.
know, why not? Everybody's excited, and it really all depends on what happens next week. You know,
Yeah.
it really just depends on, you know, what happened with tariffs, and
Right.
and the best thing, Ryan, I think the best thing you could do for our traders this morning, or today, is give them the talk that you gave at the end of the flow show. I know a lot of people listen to the flow show on this show, but I think it's what you said this morning is very important for people to hear.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I've already snipped it. So let me drop it in the chat there. It's on the tweet there, and you can get. I cut that bit of the show out and put it out separately. So have a listen.
Okay.
Tweet it. I'm
Yeah,
going to tweet
we I already retweeted it because and then I heard it after I retweeted. I knew he did something rather important. But look, we as you know, as a group here, you know, and you can just take the four of us that are sitting here right now. Ryan's got 30 years of trading experience. I've probably got the least at like 26, 27 years of trading experience. Dale's been trading for 400 years. K-Man's been
Yeah.
around for 400 years. I mean,
No,
look,
no, no, no,
between
no, 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 no. 399. Dale is much older than I am.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
ancient.
no, but like jokes aside though, between just the four of us sitting here, we've got probably close to
Tweeted.
120, 130 years of experience under our belts. I've been around the Trump train. You know, this is our second time around. But we've been through a lot of crashes. We've been through a lot of melt ups, and we've traded through it. I mean, I first sat on a trade desk in November of '97 at Block Trading, and I've been trading ever since. So, you know, it's been a long time, and we've seen a lot of stuff. This is the time that you really need to pare back. You need to be, you know, smaller positions, wider stops. K-Man, I think you said it really well. You know, if you have your stops are too close, you're guaranteeing yourself to get stopped out. You know, so smaller positions, wider stops. Think about what you're doing. Try to trade extremes if you're going to do it. Don't get caught in FOMO. And I like to always practice target trading, meaning, hey, I want to get in here because whatever here is, I want to get in here because this is going to give me the best risk versus reward opportunity. So I'm going to try to trade this level. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And if I'm right, I've got, you know, great risk reward. Practice getting in the market where you want to get in the market, not where the market is trying to guide you. You know, get in the market where you think you should be getting in, and practice that over the course of the next week, because it is going to be a volatile freaking week. And you know, I know you guys all have your opinions. I've just read them all. Oh, nothing's going to happen till Tuesday. Nothing's going to happen till Monday after that. You know, we don't know. You don't know. You're joking. You don't know. You do not know. You think you know, but you don't know. So be open-minded. Be open-minded to, you know, taking in whatever is going to happen. Because, well, if there's one thing that I learned, the Trump administration 1.0 is whatever I thought was going to happen didn't happen. And a lot of stuff that I never thought would happen happened. And like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. So those are my, you know, words of wisdom right now. And you know, it's just be careful, be nimble. It's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong. Not in this environment. So, and I've actually been very limited to my trading this week. I know most people that are in the Forex Analytics chat room are probably looking at my trades, you know, in the trades room, going, "Damn, he's scalping around quite a bit." You know, my only open position is Aussie Kiwi. I'm riding it with Ryan, but other than that, I've been just taking 10 pips off here, 15 pips off there. You know, taking my position off when I'm down 15 pips. You know, I've been scalping around, and I've been living and breathing what I've been talking this whole week, because this is a week where you have to be defensive, and next week you're going to have to be the same. And anyway, that's
Look
all I want to
at
say
that
about that.
NOCO. Look at that NOCO. Where's Celios is making the market go up here. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, the US dollar Norwegian krone is trying to break higher. I mean,
Yeah,
look,
third drive.
every dollar pair is pretty much in a channel, so that can give you a lot of guidance. Just when you're looking across the currency market, you can see every channel developed around, and you can really just ditch it all and just start looking at the dollar index. But like I said, there are going to be specific currencies that I'm focused on based on what central banks are doing, because as much as we'd like to believe that it's all about Trump and it's all about the US, it really isn't. I mean, we might be the linchpin over the course of the next couple of days, but really there are other central banks, and they are doing what they need to do to make sure that their, you know, economies and you know, work and operate properly, and they will be making moves as well. So it's important to focus there as well. You know, there is one chart that I do want to talk a little bit about, is the Kiwi, which, you know, I tend to trade quite a bit, but I want to show you guys this chart. This is the weekly chart, right? Actually, I'm going to use a Kiwi chart that oops, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to use a Kiwi chart that that maybe I don't use very often. I'll just use this one. Let me delete whatever I got there. This is a weekly chart, right? And if you take this low right here, this is the ICE data. There's this low from 2022, and that takes us right to last week's lows, right? Or this week's lows, rather. It's last week's lows. Look at how much air is underneath the Kiwi should we start breaking down. I mean, you know, there's you know, the financial crisis. That's the GFC. That's you know, when I started trading FX, we were right back here, and we had this massive triangle breakout. And if anybody remembers the GFC, the RBNZ was buying a
That was .com
fudge
back there.
ton. they were buying a fudge ton of Kiwi dollars down there. It was in Bloomberg, it was all over the news, and we're like, are these guys crazy? And it was the right trade, obviously, but they were supporting the Kiwi at that point. And if you guys don't recall trading back then, but you look at how much air is underneath here, and if you think that that's uncharted territory and there's no way we could get down there, oh, we can, and it's possible, especially after next week. Now I'm not willing to just get short or get long down here. I think it's going to be a very pivotal level that we're at, but it is something I did want to point out this morning. I think it's something that should be on everybody's radar right now. So, you get currencies like Kiwi breaking down 200-300 pips. What do you think is happening with, the euro is, could be down 300-400 pips, or, vice versa. Some people forget the days during the financial crisis when the Aussie and the Kiwi were moving 300 or three big figures a clip on a daily basis. And it was a wild time to be in the FX market. So anyway, I've been rambling on for way too long. Let's go around the horn really quick and just talk some wisdom really fast. So Dale, what are your last minute thoughts before we wrap things up for the week?
That if we get this dollar spike on whatever the new president does, I'd be looking to sell Canada. I'll try the 30 drive in NOK, USD NOK, and I'm a buyer in euro at 101.50.
Okay. All right. All right. Ryan, what are your thoughts, words of wisdom here?
Yeah, only words of wisdom. I'm not going to do anything. It's a holiday on Monday. Trump doesn't speak until 5 p.m. our time, or when that all kicks off. So it's going to be potentially a bit of a dead day. So yeah, I'm just going to wait and see what happens and trade the aftermath.
You guys going to do a flow show on Monday morning? I know it's a U.S. holiday. It's not a UK holiday. I'm just curious.
We'll be here. We'll be here as always. Nose to the grindstone.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good. And I
is there a face next week? Is there going to be a face on Monday?
Normally I wouldn't, but I believe I'm going to have to. I believe I'm going to have to. And Dale, I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire on.
Well, I have an interview.
Oh, scheduled. Well, then there we go. So, now I'm going to blame you for that, because you scheduled that on a holiday and inauguration.
Maybe I did.
But I think we'll be here anyway, because we need to do trade prep ahead of so it's got to happen. So we'll see you guys on Monday. But thanks, Ryan, for your words of wisdom. Now, K-Man, how about yourself, sir?
I'm not doing it.
Oh, you won't be here. That's right. You're going to be traveling. Well, we're going to miss you.
Yeah, I know. I'll be watching it from a distance, but I'm not doing anything anymore. Before, I just in the trade room, I put a recap of the positions that I have open right now. I'm more than happy to keep those. And basically, I have no real dollar risk. I've just done an option, and that's it. In the Aussie dollar. And yeah, for the rest, take it as it comes, and just steer away from those freshly painted saloon doors.
And what's interesting, you look at the dollar index, after this week's data, you can see, the dollar has really just been on, talk about saloon doors, swinging both directions. It's really just allowed for people to, get out of their positions, shore up some dollar positions. I think the dollar is going to be the big mover. I do think equities could probably move too, but I think the dollar is going to be the big mover this next week, because it's all about tariffs and it's all about the magnitude of them. Market's expecting, I was reading, well, a lot of bank pieces, but like JP Morgan's piece latest, I think the baseline is 7 to 8% is baked in. So you go a whopping 10% tariffs across the board, dollar's going to rip. We go staggered, staggered 2 to 5% and increasing every month or two, to get company or countries to the negotiating table. Dollar's gonna sell off, initially at least, and I think that's the baseline for everybody. Got broad brushstrokes. So And, anything, at extremes are going to cause, extreme moves. And, will we get an announcement, Monday afternoon, Tuesday, Friday of next week? We don't know. We don't know. Those executive orders that are quote unquote expected to come out, the hundreds of orders or 100+ orders, first thing. I mean, maybe it's first thing Friday morning. Who knows? So we don't know. But with all that being said, I want to say, you guys, please be cautious. Take this time to shore up any, the dollar is going to be the big mover. I mean, obviously you can get some cross rates moving, but I prefer to be in crosses. I feel comfortable holding crosses right now, and not yen crosses, by the way. I'm talking like, Aussie Kiwi, Euro Sterling, playing things like that. Pound Canadian, I don't know, something that's, when if you're not comfortable at all, there's no shame in that. There's no shame in just sitting around and waiting for the dust to settle over the course of the next couple of days. Wouldn't you guys agree with that?
Stay liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cash is a position. So, but this is the last weekend for those of you listening, and this is the last weekend to take advantage of the 40% off semi-annual subscriptions. You notice we don't even have an annual special pricing, because that's the price we usually give for annuals. That will disappear this weekend. So take advantage of the offers. Buy 1 month, get 1 month free. I mean, the next 2 months, the place you're going to want to be is in the Forex Analytics chat room anyway. That's where all the action is going to happen. So take advantage of that this weekend. And I want to say thanks, everybody, and have a great week. And I'll be getting the week ahead video filmed for you here in the next 2-3 hours.
Okay, well, thank you, Dream Team. Good week. Appreciate it. Thank you. Came in. Good luck. I hope everything works out for you on this trip, and be glad to see you back in the saddle. Ryan, thank you for your, great insights that you share with the community. And Blake, people were going through withdrawals when you just took a 3-day vacation.
I doubt that, but thank you.
they were, when's the Blake coming back? Anyway, so everyone, all you guys, have a great weekend. You're like family to us. And if you want to be at the banquet with us this year, you'll take Blake's advice and jump on that sale. And with that being said, remember, especially we're going into crossing the Rubicon here. It's going to be a great trading year. Remember, let's all thrive in 25. Then don't just count your pips, count your blessings. See everyone Monday. Do your work over the weekend, and we'll be here to, give you our edge. That's what I want everyone to think about and come in with answers next week. What is your edge? Okay. I mean, I know what my edge is. It's my RSI work. It's my pattern recognition work. What's your edge? Okay. Everyone needs to have one. All right. So K-Man's edge, all that experience he had at the desk. All right. Is that your edge, K?
Yeah, in a way it is.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
You
what I
learned.
always tell people. I mean, more than markets, I learned about psychology when I was
Yeah.
when I was on trading desks, and that is helping me a lot, actually.
You're not going to win without an edge. An edge could be being part of a community.
No, otherwise you better go to a casino and put everything on black or red.
That's right. So if you don't know what it is, find it, and you may find your edge collaborating with people instead of trading in your silo. And that's a wrap, everyone. Have a great weekend. Some good football this weekend. I'm starting to get depressed that the football season's ending, but
yeah, I know that means summer's going to be coming right around the corner, Dale. Damn it.
Yeah, that means I'll be trading and tweeting. Anyway, have a great weekend, everyone. Team, have a great weekend. Adios, everyone. See you Monday.
Thank you, Coach. You're awesome.
See you guys. All right,
Bye-bye.
buddy. I'll see you.